Hi, everybody. Tom Leahy. Thanks for joining us today on Optimum Ed. I'm joined by and a team.
Hello, everyone. Amanda Team with Optimum Ed. So glad you could join us and watch our little update. We're going to give you a little real scenario of something that went on this year that we were able to help a student out. So Tom, with that being said,
Yeah,
um,
so I think it's important that we kind of I guess we want to talk to expectations of working with us from the perspective of parents and students and what's going on right now, what we've come through, the academic chaos that's occurred this past year. And while we have some success stories like a young girl going off to Babson this fall, an entrepreneurial program, and a young man who is off to George Washington wanting to do international law and that sort of thing. There's a lot of kids that find themselves in situations where it's really hard to move forward, right? You really have to be resilient to be able to overcome some situations. And we just had a conversation with a family last week. Their daughter graduated in 2020, went off to 4-year school, and got there and was there exactly 3 days this past fall. And ended up coming home because of the situation, the pandemic. Things closed down. No roommates, set with by herself, left alone, expecting to do stuff on a computer rather than going to class, all this kind of thing. And for a lot of kids, that's just unimaginable. Plus, it's devastating emotionally.
well,
She's been
Tom,
home for a year.
when you're in high school and you're dreaming and planning of college, that's not exactly the scenario that comes to mind. And so, unfortunately, there have been several stories of that this past year. And so, but one of the things that we were able to do is we're going to be able to help this student kind of pivot and do a reset, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, she's been trying to figure out what to do, what direction. She's questioning everything that's happened and everything she was planning for. So it's difficult, but we can step in and bring some calm to that and some objectivity. And like you said, help reset and young enough, whole life ahead of her. So yes, so there's no reason that this young lady can't find success forward, and that's what we're all about: is helping young people find a way forward, no matter who they are, where they are, what their circumstances. Yeah, so that's if you have know someone in that situation, worth the conversation. Really,
Definitely
I
worth
think,
the conversation, Tom. I mean,
yeah,
it's challenging to get out of school now at this point in 4 years with a sustainable degree and something that you can go and get a job. And so if you compound layers of difficulty on top of that, it just sometimes it's great to have kind of a objective opinion to help you through that. But that's you know one of the things that Optimum Ed brings to families and students in this whole process of higher education is you've got your tangible results and you've got your intangible things. And so maybe we should talk a little bit about that, Tom.
yeah,
Finding the best fit school, increasing the competitiveness of the student. There's several things that we do at
right.
Optimum Ed to help the students and the families.
Yeah, and it's about, I mean, really, when it comes down to, I think the term efficiency might apply. That's not a real cozy term, but when we talk about the cost of education today, we really need to make sure that we're getting a return on that investment. And that's one of the things that we really focus on is making sure we do the right things in the right way at the right time to one, make the students as competitive as possible, maximize financial assistance they're receiving. We're going to make sure that we have the right academic direction. So we're going to reduce the time they spend in school instead of changing majors, 2 or 3 times. They're going to leave with less debt, um, and walk out with a job because we're going to help them figure out what they need to be doing before they leave college to get hired, right?
And there's too many stories like that, Tom, where a student has gone to a 4 year college and they come out and they're strapped with debt and they have to go back and live with mom and dad for a while. And, the job market is tough and whatever, field they chose. And so there's too many stories like that. It's,
Right.
you want to get ahead of everything and not chase it, in the end. So,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I facetiously tell people that we are, child relocation specialists.
which is so true. You want
you
them,
know,
you want them to come back and visit you.
right, we want them to come back
You
to
want them
visit,
back
but
to
not to
come
be a
visit.
tenant, right? Yeah, so exactly. And that takes a plan. And this is what I talk about all the time, a plan and a process. You can't just throw it against the wall. You've got to have a plan. And it's like that for so many things in one's life. Planning is the key to increasing potential for success. And it's no different with higher education. And that needs to start early on and have these conversations at the beginning of high school, maybe even middle school. So we know what to expect. We can know what we need to do to affect the competitive student, to prepare ourselves financially and all these things. But we can't wait until we have a senior in high school go, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Right.
Yeah, talk about stressful. And that reduction of stress is, I can't stress enough the reduction of stress and how
Stress. Yeah.
important that is, not just for the student,
Yeah.
but
One of those
financially.
intangibles, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
One of those intangibles, reducing stress, saving time.
Minimize
Um,
that.
right. And guess what? We can probably say things to your teenager that would be received in a different way than if it came from mom and dad, right? That's just
Absolutely.
the nature of that relationship at that point in their lives. So
What
there's
mom and dad know.
that.
They don't know anything sometimes, but a neutral, objective expert is really,
Right.
worth a lot. So, and
Yeah.
that's what OptimumEd focuses
Right.
on.
Yeah. And for those folks out there that are analytical, that are concerned on about the actual return on their investment in our services. Um, I can frame it in this way, and I think this is the best way to think about it. Because if you look at the cost of a year of education of college today at a 4 year public school, it's about uh, $24,000, $25,000. If we through this process save just one semester, because we've got kids taking 6 years to graduate, right? We're only graduating about 33% in 4 years. So the potential that your student, because they haven't planned well, is going to spend more than 4 years in school is pretty high. So if we can affect that and just shave off one semester, that's $12,000. And I can tell you that's about a 300% rate of return on investment in what we charge for our fees, our
Yeah,
plan.
you do the math. It's a great
So
investment in
yeah,
the future, and also tuition's not going down.
it's not going down. There's so many things changing. We can have conversations about SAT scores and that sort of thing, how to be. But the point is, you need somebody. You need an objective, voice at the table. You need somebody to help navigate. So there's so many landmines out there. There's so many things that go wrong. Let's get it right the first time. So give us a call. Doesn't cost anything to talk, and that's where it starts. That conversation.
Absolutely. And, so if we've, piqued any interest today, like Tom said, the call is free. Give us a call, talk to us more about what we do, how we can help. It's a very competitive process, and, you want your student to be successful. So we can help. Right, Tom?
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So, website, OptimumEdCenter.com. Our office number, 804-418-3200. 4807. So look forward to hearing from you. With that, we'll let you get back to your day. Thanks so much for joining us, Amanda. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Tom. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.